Okay, really quick, just come check this out. So this is really exciting. I found the first baby shrimp in this tank. And I tried to get some footage, but did the best with the camera I have. I don't have a macro lens or anything. So hopefully you can see in this footage I'm going to show you, or maybe it's on the screen right now. And I found two babies so far, and super, super exciting. I was really hoping we'd have babies in this tank because a lot of these shrimp were buried when I got them, but first baby shrimp for me, super, super exciting. And yeah, since I put in the mineral rock, everything's been going great. The shrimp seem to have a little bit more color in them too. So super happy with this tank. But yeah, just wanted to tell you guys about the babies because it's super cool. But this video is not really about this tank. I'm moving, and I'm going to show you what my plan is. What's up, guys? I'm Lucas, and welcome to Terracotta Aquarium. So, as I've been talking about on the channel for a couple of videos now, a couple of weeks, I'm moving, and I'm starting to move next week, almost exactly like a week from when I'm filming today. So, it's really exciting to have like a new place to set up the tanks, but it's also pretty stressful to move said tanks. So today I'm going to show you what my plan is. And I kind of have it all written down on a piece of paper. It's a little bit of kind of chicken scratch insanity writing. So I'm going to rewrite it. I'm going to use like a little whiteboard, and I'm going to walk you guys through my plan. And I'm doing it for two reasons. One is I want to show you what my plan is, and then you can kind of see how close I actually come to following the plan over the next few videos, because I'm planning to do like a couple moving vlogs, starting with this one. So yeah, this is the first moving vlog, and then I'll have two or three more after this, depending on how things go. But the second reason is that I want to rewrite the plan for my own benefit so I can kind of get everything straight in my head about what's going to happen. Okay, so this is the piece of paper, and as you can see, it's kind of unintelligible. So I'm going to get the whiteboard, and we'll kind of redo this. But this is kind of the framework that I'm working off of. Okay, so I've got this whiteboard. This is usually where we write grocery lists and dinner plans and that kind of thing. But today, I'm repurposing it for organizing. Okay, so let's get started. Let's do phase 1. Okay, so phase 1, I'm going to move my 2 ecosystem jars and the 2 shrimp tanks. So let's do jar, 2 jars, and then let's do jars, shrimp. And I'm going to, hopefully this doesn't get too confusing, I'm going to drain the shrimp tanks down to 2 inches of water. My cat really wants to go outside, so you might hear some meowing in the background. So, I'm going to take this stuff, draining to 2 inches. I'm going to plastic wrap plus wet paper towel. And so that should be fine in the shrimp tanks. Yeah, let's just go look at them really quick and I'll explain a little bit more. So yeah, for this tank, like I was saying, and also the other tank that I showed you earlier, I'll be able to just drain the water level down to about here, and the shrimp will be totally fine in that amount of water. And I'll put some like wet paper towels kind of on top of all of the plants, and then plastic wrap the top, and I'll take the filters and I'll put them in the bucket of water that I take with me. And media should be good for a few hours. Filters will be fine. And then I'll take these, drive them to the new place, set everything back up, use that water to fill them back up. And hopefully that should be totally fine. And I'm also going to bring this stand with me as well, and I'll have both the shrimp tanks set up on here. Okay, so that is how I will wrap and keep the shrimp tanks kind of wet and all the plants and everything good while I go. And it's going to take me about 2.5 to 3 hours per trip driving. And the jars will be fine. There's nothing really in there, no shrimp or fish, so they're going to be totally fine. And the shrimp tanks, with just that little bit of water, I think that the shrimp will be fine. And I'm also going to save the water and bring that as well. So I'll write that. So plus save water. And then we're going to get in the car, draw a little car. That's exactly what my car looks like. Then we're going to drive 3 hours to the new house. Oh, and I'm also going to bring the stand that the shrimp tanks are going to live on. So plus take stand. And then at the new house, I'm going to set up the stand. Set up stand plus shrimp tanks. And then I'm going to re-add the water. And when I get there, I'm probably going to put everything into the garage, because the garage at my new place is going to kind of be the fish tank studio, which hopefully it will turn into that. It's going to start much more as like a dank fish room. And by dank, I mean like a little cold and clammy, most likely. But I'm going to spruce it up. It's going to be sweet, but that's like phase 10 at this point. So I'll re-add the water, but I'll probably let the shrimp tanks in the water sit in the new space, chilling. Well, not getting cold, but just hanging out, getting to a consistent temperature for that space before I re-add the water. Because I really don't want to stress the shrimp out too much, especially because now they are, breeding. So I'll set up them. So after that, I'm going to go to my parents' house. So let's see. Parents' house. So I'm going to go to my parents' house because at my parents' house, there is a 78-gallon shallow aquarium that is, I think it's UNS. And I got it used. I got a super good deal on it. And I also have a stand for it and also lights at their house. So I'm going to go get all of that stuff and bring it back to my new place. So let's write that down. So grab all new aquarium stuff. So I'm going to get all of that stuff, and I'm going to, grab all new aquarium stuff except for the tank. So except for tank, because this tank it's super, super heavy. Like right now it is just sitting on my parents' front stoop because they're a little bit older and they couldn't lift it and bring it into the house. So it's been sitting on their front step for a couple of months. It is what it is. So after I grab all of that stuff, I'm then going to go back to the new house. So back to new house. And I'm going to set up the stand. And then that will be the end of the first day. So let's see. Let's see if I can squeeze this in over here. So next day. The next day, I'm going to move the new tank. And I'm going to have some help. Luckily, my fiance's dad and her brother are going to help me move the tank from my parents' house into the new place. So move new tank. So we'll get the tank set up, and then I am going to get, probably not the lights because I won't need them, but I'm going to get the new filter that I also got set up on that tank. So yeah, let me show you the new filter really quick. So this is some of the stuff that I got for moving, but this is the filter I'm going to set up on the new tank. So check this out. This is an Awaze Biomaster 350. So this has got a heater included. It's max 300 gallons per hour, max 90 gallons for size. So this thing is going to be exactly what I need for the new tank. And yeah, I'm not going to open it yet. I think it's just going to be easier to move this thing in the box and then set it up in, what did I say, phase 1. And I also got these stainless steel lily pipes. They're the same ones that I've got on Quarry Mountain. I love the look of these. I will open these up because they're already boxes isn't taped together, but yeah, they look like this. Same type of pipes. I really like them. They just look like super clean. So yeah, I'll set up all of that when I set up the new tank. Yeah, that's the new filter. So I'm going to move the tank and then set up tank plus filter. And after this phase, I'm probably going to spend another night in that house or my parents' house, and then I'm going to come back to this house. And that's going to kind of be the end of phase 1. And I'm going to get the filter set up, but I'm probably not going to keep it running that whole time. It's just going to be there kind of like ready to go because I'm not going to be there to really seed the media effectively. So, well, I'll kind of make that call when I get there because I don't want there to just be stagnant water. So, yeah, I might keep it running. I'm going to kind of make that decision when I get there. But that is going to be the end of phase 1. Okay, so moving on. About a week after phase 1 is done, maybe a little less, we're going to start phase 2. So, phase 2. And the reason I have to wait a week is that I kind of have to time things with when the movers are coming here to pick up all of our stuff. So, phase 2 is going to happen. I'm going to be traveling back and forth this 3-hour drive like almost every other day for 3 or 4 days. Let's see. Yeah, 3 or 4 days. So we're going to start phase 2 in this house. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically be breaking down all of the tanks. So let's see. The tanks we're going to be dealing with, we have the riverbed, we have Quarry Mountain, and then we have the jungle. So I'm going to break down all of these tanks. And at some time before this, I'm going to go to Home Depot. I'm going to buy a ton of buckets. And as I break these down, I'm going to save the water. And I'm going to put all of the fish from these aquariums into buckets, basically 3 buckets, 1 for each aquarium. And I'm going to have water from each tank in these buckets. And I'm also going to take filter media from each of these tanks, So let's do filter media from these tanks is going to go into each of these corresponding buckets. And so the fish will be in the buckets with their tank water with filter media. And the plan is to, I think well, it's a little bit tough because I want to make sure that everything is really oxygenated in here. So I think I'm going to have an air pump. So let's do this. Air pump. It's going to be attached to my car outlet. And it's going to be kind of split 3 ways going into each bucket. So I'm going to kind of have these 3 buckets in my back seat secured really well with an air stone in each one, a bag of filter media in each one, and then the fish from each tank. And I think for a 3-hour drive, maybe 4 hours in the buckets, considering like the, getting them into the car and everything, this should be fine. And I'm really, really keeping my fingers crossed. And if you guys have any advice for me, if you think there's a better plan than doing this for moving the fish, let me know. I would love any suggestions, seriously. Because I could have rehomed all these fish, but I really, really don't want to, especially all of the Danios that I've bred myself. I really, really want to keep them. So this is the plan. I wish I didn't have to drive 3 hours, but it is what it is. So moving on, I'm going to have all of the fish in these buckets. And they're going to be in, basically let's move back a step. So for each of the tanks, so I'll just do, this is getting really convoluted, but hopefully it's making sense. So I'm going to break down each of these tanks and I'm going to save all the hardscape and plants. So I'm going to save all of the hardscape and plants. Those are going to be in their own buckets, basically. And then I'm going to leave the tanks here because the fish are going to be in buckets at this point. The tanks are going to be dirty, but mostly empty. I don't want to take the time with the fish in the buckets to fully clean and break down all of the tanks. I'm going to leave that as another trip. So I'm going to have all of the hardscape and plants in buckets. And I may or may not take the plants on the first trip. I may just kind of leave them in a bucket, sort of in the sun here. But at minimum, I'm going to bring hardscape. And I'm also going to take, I already said I'm taking the filter media. So then I'm going to have hardscape in a bucket, and I'm going to then drive. So we'll get the car back out. There's the car. Gets better every time. So then I'm going to take the car to the new house. And then I am going to acclimate the fish to the new tank. And then as I'm doing this, I'm going to set up some of the hardscape in this new big tank, just so they have, some security basically and places to hide. It's not going to be like a fully escaped tank with substrate and that kind of thing. But I just want them to feel safe. And then, so set up hardscape. And then as I'm acclimating them, at sort of at the same time, I'm going to add the filter media to the new tank. So filter media into the new tank. And then I'll add the fish. So, and then at that point, I'm going to have, a bottle of beneficial bacteria with me as well. But ideally, the filter media that I'll just sort of have in the tank is going to just help cycle that filter further and just make sure that the fish are going to be totally fine. And it's going to be such a high or such a large volume of water for the fish that it should minimize any risks for them being in basically a fresh setup. But I'm also going to add any of the water that I have brought with me, as long as it's not too pooped out or anything. I'm going to add that to the tank so that there's not like a massive shock for the fish, and the water will have good beneficial bacteria in it as well. So that's the plan. And then, well, I'm going to stay there for the night, go back the next day, and then we're going to start phase 3. Okay, so phase 3. So phase 3 is going to be the most chill phase. Most of the stressful part at this point is going to be complete. I'll have that new tank set up, I'll have the fish in the tank, and then I'll sort of be able to take my time cleaning out the tanks here and moving them. So phase 3, we'll have the 3 tanks, and I'm going to, 1, just clean them out. Then I'm going to, 2, I'm going to save anything in buckets that I haven't already brought to the new place. So save stuff in buckets. Buckets. That is completely unintelligible. Buckets. There we go. So I'll save all of the hardscape, all of the substrate, all of that stuff. I just want to have kind of an abundance of materials when I move, because you never know what you're going to need. So yeah, I'll save all of that stuff, clean out the tanks, and then just move them. So 3 is going to be move them. So I'll get back in the car. Ooh, that one's not very good. Get back in the car and go to the new place. And this phase of the trip, I'm also, I guess this should be, 4 should be here. I'm going to break down the stands that I have, or really just the one major stand, because I'll have that new stand as well. And the new stand is going to have the big tank on it, but it's also big enough to have the riverbed on it as well. So, all right, break down stands. And I don't want to use the stand that the jungle aquarium is on right now, because it's more of a desk, and I want to use that desk for other things, but also I just don't totally trust it, which is not a great thing to say after it's been used for a year and a half with 2 different aquariums on it. But I mean, it's probably fine because of that, but regardless, I just don't want to take any chances. And the stand out here in the living room is going to take the jungle tank and also the Quarry Mountain. And they won't be those tanks anymore. You know, they're going to be empty, sort of blank canvases to work with. But that's the plan. So I'll, move everything to the new place, basically just get the empty tanks set up on their stands. And then after that, do 5. I'm going to come back here, and then the next day after that will be the final move with everything else in the house. So final move. So yeah, that is phase 3. So I guess it'll probably be, based on my 3 phases, 3 moving vlogs. So yeah, that's the plan. All right, guys. Well, that is my plan for moving. Hopefully it goes exactly according to plan, but we'll just have to see, because I'm going to start moving next week. So if you want to follow along with me, don't forget to click the subscribe button, and like and a comment would be awesome. If you have any advice for me, please leave it in the comments. I'd really appreciate it, because I can use all the advice at the moment to move my fish safely. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see a video where I talk more about all of the tanks and do like a final apartment tour, I'll leave a link to it somewhere on the screen around here. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.